I saw the Age of Consent video, the name of it, by Hannibal Barca. I know he's an anthropologist. That is a valid area of study in anthropology. I didn't really watch the video, and the reason I didn't was I intuitively felt I would probably disagree with his take on it, and I just didn't want to get into exchanging comments on it and trying to discern what was anthropological and, the rest of it, because I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I know that in anthropology, that is often a consideration. Personally, I have a cultural bias, and I know it, and that is that I got a childhood. This is all personal now. I got a childhood. I didn't have to become a fully fledged grown up woman until I was a teenager. And I know that girls and women, girls really, young girls, are sexualized very early in our culture right now. And I have to admit that bothers me. There'll be a link in the low bar to Mel's basket case, and I think she articulated it better than I could about why it bothers me. That at a certain age, girls may think they know what the grown-up sexual games are about, and they may not. Um, and they may inadvertently get into these things without realizing what they're getting into. And I just think, when I was 10 years old, I got a telescope and I spent years doing fun things that were fun for me, trying to figure out science, um, I happened to have lived in other parts of the world at that point, and I went to tea ceremonies in Japan, and I don't know, we just did lots of I had a lot of different things going on that had nothing to do with the grown-up sexual games that men and women play. And I feel very lucky that I had that kind of real childhood. Um, and a lot of girls now, I'm not sure they do. And I think they grow up completely differently. Now, from an anthropological point of view, I might take a completely different tact. And I think that's exactly what's happened here. Hannibal Barca 13, and I did not see his Age of Consent video because, as I said, I knew that it was likely to make me want to engage in discussing it. And there's a lot of leeway for being misunderstood on YouTube, and I just thought I really don't want to get into the headache of it. So I didn't even watch the video, but I knew I would probably disagree with it. Now, about, Hannibal Barca 13, I think he's really smart, and I enjoy watching a lot of his videos, and I'm sorry that he feels that the atmosphere on YouTube has gotten so hostile that he's thinking about leaving, but I can understand it, um, because he wants to be a practicing academic, and this really might impact his career. I mean, I've watched people insulting Professor Anton, and he just tolerates it. He's a good sport. He doesn't seem to take it too seriously, but he does have an academic career, and those kinds of things could impact his academic career, I guess. But as I said, he seems quite mature, and I've kind of indirectly ribbed him a little bit about some of the jargon that I have some problems with. But generally, I really like his videos. I really like Hannibal Barca 13's. I am sorry it has come to this because I really appreciate his input. And I know I'm not going to just agree with him. I don't just agree with someone because I see it's a video from that particular person and I'm expected to disagree or agree with that line of reasoning. I try to listen to what's being said and then form an opinion, and not form an opinion on which side, air quote, unair quote, I'm supposed to be on, which I think happens way too much. It's sort of like, it's sort of like rooting for the home team and junk like that, instead of listening to what's being said. I mean, there is a YouTuber that I sometimes agree with and sometimes I don't. It's a Zombie Picture Show, and he just made some points about eugenics. Now, I just ask him for a clarification. I often, or not all, sometimes I sometimes agree with Zombie Picture Show, and sometimes I don't. I like him all the time. I like Hannibal Barca, whether I agree with him or not. And I like a lot of people I disagree with on YouTube. I don't have to make it a big ego contest if I want to have more information. And it seems to me that that's what is fine to ask for. And I understand Hannibal Barca's misgivings because your academic reputation is really important, if you're going to make it in academia. So I understand his misgivings, and I'm sorry that this happened. I think maybe um, people who want to like just throw around insults should think about the reason that some people are here. And if Hannibal Barca is here to discuss concepts and ideas as they relate to anthropology, maybe take that into consideration and not go off the deep end and make accusations about pedophilia, which are totally, totally unjustified. Um, I mean, any mature adult knows that it's something that anthropologists talk about and deal with, the age of consent. All you have to do is read a little bit of Margaret Mead or some classical anthropologists, and you will see that that's often something that is in anthropological literature. So could we grow up and stop resorting to insults all the time and start thinking about the ideas instead? And yes, I'm mommy chiding again, but I mean, it's just a shame to see a really interesting, informed YouTuber thinking he's got to leave because of what's happened, because of pointless accusations and insults. So anyway, that's my take. I've been making too many videos lately. You guys take care of yourselves. Talk to you later. Bye.